I never really was one for VR headsets, especially the ones that we're seeing most recently with the Gear VR and stuff like that. They're really cool, but after the demonstration that I went through, I am now a believer in VR. Hey, it's Josh Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And this is just my reaction to the demo of the HTC Vive. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to show you what it was that I was able to see inside of our demo, but I can show you the unit itself. This is only a part of all of the components that will put together the entire Steam VR experience that you might end up enjoying in the coming year. Nonetheless, what we have is the full head-on unit that actually fits glasses, actually. But what we will do is just put this on real quick, and you'll see me put it on. I'll look a little silly for now, but this is essentially what it is. They told me if you go snorkeling, this is kind of what, it's the same sort of movement to get this on, but it's a very large unit that will immerse you into a particular world. You have headphones on in order to hear what is going on around you, and two controllers that will allow you to interact with the world around you. But two laser units will be put on particular parts in your room in order to create what is effectively the room that you will be in, creating the space that you will actually walk around in, and that is the crux of the HTC Vive. You will actually be able to walk around the environment that is created for you using the world in Steam VR. And inside of the demo, I got to go through 5 different places in order to really experience this for myself. Now, immersion obviously is what is important about the HTC Vive, and that's exactly what you have to do. You kind of have to let go and be a part of the world that is around you. The first demo was of a shipwreck, and I was walking around, and before you get into the actual worlds themselves, you're in a particular just like very Valve, very Steam-like grid. It's just white everywhere. But as you come up to the boundary that the lasers create for you, you see a mesh grid in front of you, and that is the boundary. It kind of ingrains into your mind that something bad will happen if you hit that. If you go past it, you might fall, because the sensory deprivation that immerses you into the world that you're about to experience is really what makes you feel like, okay, I better not go outside of these boundaries. And that is when the demo truly began. You go into a shipwreck, and there are rails, and you're underwater. There are rails all over the place that you get to walk up to and look over and see the rocks below. A huge whale appeared in front of me, and I got absolutely terrified of it. And you could reach out and try to touch it, but of course you're in a virtual reality world. After that was a cooking demonstration, very much like the simulators that you might find on Steam, if you know the fellow gamers out there. And you can pick up parts of the world using the controllers. There are triggers, and you can actually hit buttons on there that interact with the world. I tried to chop up some vegetables. I made a soup, picked up a plate, threw it at the wall, and it exploded in my face. And it was just a really good experience. But what really blows people away who do this particular demo is the final demo, which was an Aperture world. Now, I said Aperture, and all of you guys out there who know about Portal and maybe even Half-Life 1, 2, the hope for 3, those are the things that really us people really want to see in these VR platforms. Steam VR, with all of the games that Steam has, if we are able to be immersed into that world, that is what it is. I was trying to repair a robot from the Aperture world, and I couldn't figure it out. I think they've set you up to fail because you can't find the part that you have to repair. And as you're trying to rotate everything around, trying to open up this robot, you're walking around trying to find the tools that you need. It's an incredible experience, and it's just something that I wanted to share, even though technically I can't really share it in the rich way that I want to. But nonetheless, this is the HTC Vive. This is the unit itself, and really it's an incredible experience, and there are so many components that are going to go into it, and I'm told that they're all going to be wireless, even though obviously in these demo editions they are tethered, because this is going to be a developer edition that will be sent out to the people who are going to develop for it, and they need to have all of the variables kind of put into place. But the final units are going to be wireless. There are endless possibilities for this. I was thinking about a simulation type of deal where, let's say you wanted to teach your kid how to drive, well, you can put them in a car and actually see all the components that will happen and really see what is going to happen, or maybe even a couple years down the line, maybe a heart surgeon is going to be able to see a body in front of him and be able to see all the parts that when he's actually at the table, he will be able to know exactly what he's looking for. Not necessarily have to perform in the virtual world, but at least be able to see what's going on. And then of course, movies, video games, of course, that Aperture world is still blowing my mind because you saw everything happening. And when GLaDOS came in and reprimanded me for how bad my work was, I was terrified because there was GLaDOS right in front of me. I hope you gamers out there are with me right now because you're the ones who will understand what I'm saying, and you would have been just as blown away in this demo as much as I was. But in any case, I really am looking forward to it. HTC is of course a big part of the Android family, and we wanted to see what they were up to with Valve with their HTC Vive. This isn't necessarily an Android device, but it's coming from a manufacturer that has Android pedigree in its blood. And we wanted to see what they were going to do outside of the Android world, and this, it really does look like, at least to me, a really good place for them to go. So keep it tuned to Android Authority for all of the best coverage, including perhaps a future review of the HTC Vive. We're not too sure what is going to happen once we get our hands on a review unit. I will give you my thoughts, perhaps in one way or another, but until then, keep it tuned to Android Authority. Mobile World Congress is slowly coming to its end, and we are now here at the final couple days. So keep it tuned here, and remember that we are your source for all things HTC Vive and MWC.